All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's time for what everyone has been waiting for. That's correct. Your streamer is going to jump into the game all the other regular fucking people are playing. We're going to play the horse women game. Surprise, motherfuckers. It's not bingo at all. No, I'm kidding. I'm not playing this shit. Come on. This is just to fuck with you. We're doing the bingo.
Nice.
It's not April, but sometimes I gotta get you guys good. You can't toy with me like this. I was so scared. Oh man. Horse girl tier list when all I know is the gold chip on top. That's my only opinion. I picked one, just like with Fate.
Hey chat, have you heard about Twitch Prime?
I'm disappointed.
Did you know you can link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch, and subscribe to your fave streamer for 30 days for free?
I appreciate that, Booper. New Prime, new Warframe, new Heirloom are probably safe bets. Yeah, so a little bit of... So in years past, also this nice bingo board, courtesy of a post on the Reddit. Very nice. Very much enjoy this. In years past, we've kind of organized it a little bit, and I think I don't want to do that. Which is we did for a while, where like more likely was like the x-axis or the y-axis, and like the x-axis was less hype and more hype. I think I don't want to do that one anymore. I think we just put stuff on here wherever.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Catman, thank you for the 5 subs. I appreciate you. Warframe on Android is basically a free space. I would tend to agree with that. Like, at least it being shown. Or, like, mentioned, right? Also, what's up, Rachel? How you doing? That's the point of bingo. Yeah. That's fair. Okay, so there's some things we have to get out of the way. I think just left to right, top to bottom in order of thought. You think in order of thought is so dire. I feel like in order of thought makes the top row really likely.
I've been seeing a lot of people drawing other characters into this game, and apparently most of them don't know the significance of which ear the accessory is worn on, which leads to some hilarious mental images.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Stick them on a wheel and spin. Possible. Can't have a square that just says Tau. Needs to be we're going to Tau. Yeah. So I think there's a few things that we can put on here pretty much right away. Also, what font do we want? Do we have font opinions? Give me your hottest font opinion. Not Comic Sans. Nope, I knew you were gonna say it right away. Fucking gotcha. Impact. Honestly, Impact is a hyper-readable font that I vibe with it. I know it's like the meme font, but like it's highly readable. The Fiala? I have a default Windows fonts. The new install we got here. Helvetica. I struck down Helvetica. So sorry for this extremely specific reference for anyone who doesn't get that. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Okay, good. Good. We love a Brennan Lee Mulligan in this house. I do not have a Helvetica by default. Are you for real? Is Impact in here by default? Yes, it is. Okay, alright. Helvetica is not a default fucking font anymore? What's up with that? Well, you struck Helvetica. How would you have it? This for squares, that's just rolling dice. I fuck with this. This is fair. I like rolling dice. I love rolling dice. There's a ton of Lua imagery in there. The teasers, I wonder why. Yeah. Well, like, so they have been kind of like, so I went back and I read through a bunch of like the conversations just in my like history on the PC brain, the Kim, and like, dude, Soul and Lua get mentioned a lot. Like a lot. Like every other conversation, yeah. New sentience as a space? I feel like we'd have to like write like evolved sentience. I think that's specific enough. Because new sentient is a little too vague. Spirit space, so therefore Christianity, so I get it. Oh yeah, no, it gets mentioned a lot, but like, why would they write it that way if it wasn't gonna be important? Kinda, you know what I'm saying?
No mention of raids should be a space.
No, I mean one of these spaces is gonna be raids. It can just be raids, honestly.
Roll a d100. The single digit is the X and the double digit is the Y. Divide the numbers in half and round up, and reroll repeats, of course.
I was just gonna roll a d6 and then add a d20 whenever we run out of 1 through 6. You can also just put it in random spots. We're going impact font. Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, so let's think here. First space. Bold impact. Yeah, we'll just do random spots. So we got the free space, obviously. Okay, here's what I think one of these spots has to be. I think one of these spots has to be this. Where are my fucking... Are there not more... Are there not more... I thought there was, like, the normal... Hold on. Is there not, like, centering options up here somewhere? It's been so long since I've used regular fucking paint. Oh, they're over here. Jesus. I haven't used regular paint in quite a fucking age. I'm fucking spoiled by using Affinity for everything. I think time travel has to be here. So let's go like 35. Nope, apparently not. Let's go 30. That's fine. Yeah, I think time travel needs to be on here. As far as I can tell, ETA is also time travel. More time travel, or do you mean a time skip forward so Orion/Sirius grows up? I know, I just mean time travel. Because I think there is a distinct possibility that we're going back to the old war. I think there is a distinct possibility that doing a like flashback episode of the old war to give us a bunch of information that we will need going forward is a very distinct possibility. Would reliving memories count as time travel? It kind of depends on how, right? Yeah, it depends on whose memories. like a brief flashback doesn't count as time travel, but like if the setup for it is the operator like in the Lotus sit down and then they just say everything they know about the old war and you play it, that counts. Yeah, flashbacks don't count. Like the era cutscene, that doesn't count as time travel.
It's that time again, huh? BTW, how about raids mentioned?
Oh, it's just going to be raids on here. Could be the AC Animus style of going back. I don't know why that technology would exist. Lotus lore? So, like, Lotus lore? I don't know. Like, I feel like... Do we need more? Well, like... How do I put this up? Fucking... Can I write on here Lotus setup payoff? Because, like, she is at the fucking edge of, like, the fucking bottom universe, just, like, waxing poetic, like, very mysteriously into the ether. And, like... I feel like Lotus setup payoff is, like, the real shit to write down here. Yeah, she's just aura farming on that fucking cliff, saying mysterious shit. That we'll put that down here. Isn't Warframe already doing Animus things with 99 in the vessels? No, that's not what the Animus does. Soon I will be the witch. I will soon be gone. This is the beginning of the end. Yeah, no, the Lotus is just out there on her cliff just saying, like, just fucking saying cryptid bullshit. Exactly. So yeah, Lotus setup payoff I think is very reasonable here. Will Kalimo somehow be plot relevant again? Can I put Albrecht Moggs us again on this? Mog, yeah. How do I like describe this? What does Mog mean? It basically means that he just like does mysterious bullshit and like raises the middle finger and doesn't explain shit. Tuxedo mask level, I helped. Yeah. Isn't that his whole shtick, though? Well, yeah. Isn't that a 100% chance? At some fucking point... Okay, here's the thing about Albrecht. The indifference tied Albrecht to a chair and interrogated his ass. And all it got as information was his sexuality. Nobody can get any fucking information out of this man. Nobody. Like, it's like, he does not explain shit. It's not even that he tricks us because we don't have enough to have any goddamn explanations in the first place. Yeah. Assume that Albert just doesn't feel pain normally anymore. I would hope not. New headcanon, Albrecht doesn't know. He's just pretending. We finally confront Albrecht. We're like, Albrecht, you have to tell us the plan. And he's just like, I have no plan. I'm just doing shit in here. The Iraqi method of plans. Yeah. I can't tell you my plan because even I don't know. You guys thought I had this figured out. He's gone too far into the bit and is now doubling down. Oh, man. He's just the doctor? No, that can't be true. This goofy-ass music is very suitable. Oh, yeah. Hexen origin system besides Kaya. I feel like it's early for that. Oh, look at this freezer. God damn it. Freezer, what the fuck? Why did you create this? Limus being the mastermind would be amazing. Next, like, system... in origin system? Oh, you know what? That's actually probably a good one here. Well, no. Okay. Okay, there's two nodes that need to be on here. They have to be in the same row. Because, like... we have to create the Brozime was so fucking right row. Even though I don't think it's gonna, like, I don't think that I'm gonna be completely right about anything. Tau tile. Let's put Tau. Let's put Tau time right here. Tau time can help a lot of things if it's right here. And it's probably Tau time. We want to make the bingo reasonably possible. Tile for do the impossible, see the invisible. Yeah, we have to do that. The third orb. I'm not putting third orb mother on this. Can I be so honest? We keep saying, like, third orb mother. I don't want it or care. Where the railroad doesn't jive with the tone from the teasers. Yeah, but we haven't seen, like... See, that's the thing, though, is that the tone from the teasers, which I have them all pulled up, right? Like, the tone from this teaser is obviously, like, super somber. Also, we will have predictions that are related based off of this. There have been some, like, notable things about this that have been pointed out. Verdant, thank you for the prime. Appreciate you. Yes, this is like the Broken Lotus, the Dead Mag. Why do people... Okay, I really have to... Why are people saying Mag Umbra? How does that make any sense? How does a dead mag mean Mag Umbra? You want more Umbra frames? Do we? Welcome, Clueless. Wouldn't say no to skins, I guess. Oh, Limbo rework. Limbo rework should go on here. Well, wait. Okay, hold on. We're gonna pick one. Okay, oh, wait. Should we have, instead of specific rework callouts on this, should we have at least 2 reworks? Yeah, I think that's better. Let's put that, say, here. The Prime announcement is a guarantee. It's not even really worth putting on here. Crush Lumaruk on the Reddit the other day. My boy isn't getting anything for a while. I think there will be some rework announcements though. Oh yeah, let's put a -1 on here. Put a -1 on here. That can go right over here. For what? How is that negative? Random loadouts again? If they do it again, it's overused as fuck. People are already getting sick of it.
Not another exa, another random loadout mode. It could be an exa or it could be something else. It's the random loadout part that's the problem.
I think it's not really, see, like random loadouts I'm fine with, but if they do another one, it's way overused. More attenuation. Yeah, if you give it a year or two and then do a random loadout thing, like, oh yeah, we haven't seen this in a while type shit, like, fine. I'm putting more attenuation on here is that it's really hard to know if something is attenuated from trailers. That's true. What about attenuation changes? Let's see what else we can get on here. So the thing that, okay, from this trailer, the thing that has been talked about quite a bit is that in the background of this, for like a second, you can see this shape, and people think that it's another Warframe and that it's Ember. And I think that is a reasonable take at that. I think that's very reasonable. So I think that is a like prime Warframe graveyard. And I think I should put that on here. Tinking mentioned. Deep diving into specific, like, we're going to rework this in this way and this and this. That's not really a Tennocon thing. Yeah, I think Prime Warframe Graveyard is good, though. UARD? Let's put that in the corner. Yeah, I'll grab the Signa after we're done doing this stuff. Helmet expanded upon new Archon shards? Those feel very, very unlikely. I feel like, okay. Is it funny or not funny to put somehow Pazul returned on this? Put that right here. Bizarre Returns is basically saying that row isn't happening, so you got to put it in the middle somewhere. I mean, I think this side is fine. It's too unlikely to be an edge choice. Do you think so? New Syndicate is probably a safe choice. Hmm. I'm just going to put this up here. We're just going to put... I'm going to put that right up here. I'm going to put this in the top left corner. We're just going to keep that right there. And then that... So, okay, this cross here will be the Brozime was right angle, which means that this one has to be the shit I've been talking about for ages, which is... Why? Why? I think that's like also vague enough. What does Roro Fight the Power mean? You should watch Gurren Lagann. This node right here means that you should watch Gurren Lagann. Aren't we doing this in Affinity? Because I was starting the stream up and I didn't have Affinity installed on the brand new PC. It's installed on my editing PC for obvious reasons. Do one for a completely uncalled for nerf. I'll tell you what. Okay, negative shit can be left, right, row. Well, no, that probably cuts off way too many things. We have at least 2 reworks in top middle. Maybe replace Roro Fight the Power with TTGL reference. I guess so. MR Squish. An MR Squish is too technical for the Tennocon stage, I think. Okay, so here's another question about this is, do we want to include the Soulframe dev stream as part of this bingo board? No? Okay. I'm tapping it now. I really want the Prime Warframe Graveyard now.
Now I would love it if they brought back Pazuel as a raid, where we have to take down all 3 Archons with revamped mechanics and health gates and do a bunch of puzzles before fighting him, and he's basically an FFX of raid fight with mechanics. But we all know that's not gonna happen, as much as we might want it to.
Put raids right here, speaking of which. Let's put that right there. Licensed music in a trailer. Friendly sentience is interesting. The thing that I have been saying would be really cool is like evolved sentience. So I think I want to put that on here somewhere. Let's put that like here. New frames theme. What do you mean? Guessing the frame? I don't think guessing what the theme of the next Warframe is going to be is appropriate for a bingo. Over your stranded survivalist mag operator Virgil idea. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, we should put that on here. How do I want to phrase this? Yeah, NPC 10 out. That's fair. NPC 10-0 is good. I don't think they have to be an adversary necessarily. Where do we want to put this, though? Here? Let's put it here. Well, hold on. Does NPC 10-0... Is this maybe a little too vague? Hold on. This should be like... Okay, hold on. This should be like... non... background NPC 10-0. Because we have, like, in, like, the era cutscene, there are technically, like, NPC 10-0 that are there for a who cares amount of time. Not really, we've only had Rel. Yeah, Rel's the only other one. And Rel was, like, you know, Rel's not even really still, like a 10-0 as normal. Oh, new named 10-0. That's actually a really good way to phrase this. New named 10-0 is actually, that's very good. That's a good way to phrase this. Yeah, that's good. I actually like that. That's a very good way to put this. Isn't Mara one? That's our main character's, like, official name. Yeah, named 10-0 is a great way to put this. Wasn't there a list of names from the Zaramon? Of, like, crew. Yeah. The new war flashback for era cutscene, like, that doesn't... those don't count at all. Neil Newbon is in the next update. Yeah, well, it calls Drifter Mara look, but even before they established the Void language, it was like an internal name for like the cutscene operator that they use for like trailers and stuff was Mara. Okay, new Kim style system. I think this is fair. Kim should be all caps though. And voiced by Ben Starr. Sounds like a funny square. New heirloom skins? Well, we know that, like, that's like a free space. Like, we know that, like, Valkyr Heirloom's whole Valkyr Heirloom is going to be out on stage. And then we know that, like, we've already seen Vauban's. Ooh, Parvos payoff. That's good, actually. I like that one. We saw Vauban's concept. That was like a couple dev streams ago. We set on how free and send him to Tau. The thing that we said yesterday. Inside the sun. I'm gonna say that one can go up here. I forgot about Vauban's New York puffer jacket, much like I forgot about Vauban himself. Me and you both. You can call it sun nodes? New character with missing body part. Enchants for an old tiles at rework, or is that included on the at least 2 reworks? I'd put that into an at least 2 rework section. We already know that Sun Node is going to be the Tennocon relay, though. Sure. Like, we know that the Tennocon relay has something to do with the sun, but we don't know that inside the sun is a thing. Stalker. I don't know if something would happen. Guessing the sun is going to split open during a vision/nightmare to see the sentience spilling into the system. Is that what is going to happen for the trailer? I think more like, so like, you know how like Lua is like a heavily modified thing, and it's very important, and like it's like the site of like all of the fucking continuity stuff. I think the sun is like likely to be equally important, and if the sun is like actually a super fucked up thing, and that's why it's the sentience like goal, I think that would be interesting. That's why Inside the Sun is on here. Does Tau time include Tau and PC? What does that mean? Systematic Arcwing changes. Does that seem likely? Do you think they would put effort into that? Oh, you know what should go on here? Oh shit, what is her name again? Chat, Zaramon, attractive redheaded woman. She's quirky and cute. Yanta, thank you. Should we do Yanta Ramblings payoff? Zyme, please, what do you want from me? Okay, we can't put the Lotus payoff and the Yanta payoff in the same place. Let's put this here. Just rambling, doesn't ramblings, really. Or is he selling the backpacks on? Is that the one from Tennocon? It's a variant. Could we expect anything from Orion / Sirius thus far? I don't think it would happen yet. It could, though. Maybe that's one for, like, the bottom... Or, like, the middle left corner. Or the middle left side over here. Let's just say this. More Stalker. More Stalker? New Umbra. I think New Umbra is so unreasonably unlikely that I wouldn't even put it on here. Damage attenuation rework. I don't know that that's something that, like, whenever you get into, like, are they gonna address, like, health tanking? And it's like, they're not gonna talk about that on the fucking Tennocon stage. Like, you think about, like, okay, attenuation and health tanking and, like, all of those things are, like, upper percentile things to discuss. And let me tell you, the Tennocon audience is the biggest audience that Warframe gets all fucking year. And it's the audience that has no idea what the fuck we're talking about. Like, they have no clue, bro. Like, they want to see the shiny, and they'd be like, oh, reworks, are people excited? Cool. Like, they'll say a word about it. Be like, we're going to rework this. Awesome. Like, then that's all they need. That is the full depth. You'll say health armor rework will be talked about after Tennocon ends. Maybe. I don't think they're going to spend any time on Tenno Live talking about that. New enemy type. I think that new enemy type kind of fits under the evolved sentience banner, right? Maybe not. Could be both. Evolved sentience versus new non-sentience, yeah. Yeah, new non-sentience maybe goes right here. More Railjack. I've got Railjack Exploration game mode on here. New faction, yeah, you know, new faction should probably be on here. We want like an easy one. Let's put an easy one in the corner down here and say new faction. That one feels like an easy one. That one's not happening, Calipol. Yeah, like, to dive deeper on, like, the Railjack exploration game mode thing, this is the thing that we've been talking about for a while, for anyone that's not been around for me discussing this. And it's the basic, like, the idea of, like, what I think of as, like, what would be a very cool going to Tau experience would be taking the Railjack, taking the lower level of the Railjack and making it, like, a live space for, like, crewmates and stuff. And then to basically, like, build the team and have, like, Kaya, who's in the future now, and like a bunch of other like hits for characters that you could like build more story on, and take all of them in the Railjack, go to Tau, and then have Tau be a system a la like a Mass Effect like exploration, where like the characters have like their like arcs and stuff a la like a Kim style system, and like the gameplay is like basically a totally different thing in Tau. Like that's the thing that I've been talking about for a while. Like I think that'd be very cool. Very unlikely. I think it's not super likely that that's what it is. Should be a livable space for you as well, like a new base of operations inside your Railjack. Yeah. Tau hacking. What does Prime Warframe Graveyard mean? Oh, that's what I think this is in the trailer. I think that this that they're showing is like a graveyard from the like Warframes that went to Tau. That's like specifically based on just like what I think is an ember in the background here. Like I think that this is also a dead ember here. So I think that that whole thing is going to be a like graveyard of Prime Warframes that showed up in Tau. Is it not a direct reference to the Mag Prime Codex entry as well? That's a very, very reasonable take. But I think that that also like would reinforce that that's what that is. The permadeath mode that deletes your account. Okay, Yokotaro. How much of a stretch is it for a new Void Touched character that's not Zarmon / Tenno? Possible. Okay. Okay, this is like a bit mean to put on here. Should we put on here one actual full explanation? Like, just... Sure, it'll be a dead space, but sure. Yeah, an answer. An answer without an additional question. Setting the bar high. Pounders packs announced / released? No. Silly. You already have a square for the big vessels payoff? We don't, but that would be a good one. Attenuation mentioned? Yeah, okay, attenuation mentioned. Will do you think they will though? Attenuation being known by more people than like the people who are actually experienced with the game is not good for them. Like attenuation is one of the things that like once you know about it, you immediately hate it. Like I've seen 0 people like it. Like making sure people don't know what that is in their best interest. Sounds like Bloodborne mentioned. Yeah. Think we have a chance of getting a new open world map? Or are they done with those? I would not say that an open world is impossible, but I think that it would be something more complex than that. Like, I don't think that like we would just like go to Tau and have it be like, and it's another open world, and it's just one. Like, you know what I mean? Oh god, new star chart is so anti-hype, but I could put it on here. I don't know. Like, okay, am I crazy for saying this? I said this yesterday too. New star chart is like anti-hype. Like if they're just like, and here are 7 planets, and it's like there's no story stuff or anything. It's just they are the normal game modes, and there's some new tile sets. I'd be so anti-hype. Yeah, I don't think they would do that, and it would be so anti-hype. Let's actually explore a new system using our Railjacks, harkening back to the 2019 demo for Railjack and Fortuna. Yeah, that's like kind of what this is like alluding to. Is like a couple different things that are possible with the Railjack. More proto-frames. More proto-frames is an interesting one. Possible. New operator / drifter school, that's us pulling on the apathy. I don't really think they would add a focus school. More proto-frames is a free space. It's basically guaranteed. They've said that they aren't going to be doing stuff with that soon. So, like, it's not, like, totally impossible that there would be another proto-frame. But, like, I think it is not super likely. Like, I think seeing a concept of one is possible. Completely unrelated game mode, as in they add a settlement manager. Oh, man. Another settlement needs your help. Arthur Post-Oliver chats makes it very obvious that they are working on more. Well, I mean, like, he opens the door for it, at least. I don't think that it's like the major update for this year is definitely going to be that or something. Building Trail for 10 live music is nice. Yeah, the music is very good. Oh, should we have, like, second free space on here that just the music is peak? Like, we can have it be, like, a funny one, which is just, like, Digital Extremes is a music company that also makes a game. Just have this on there. Just having this on there feels good. These a music company is just a free space, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's, like, fair. Not gonna do finish the name alphabet. I just think that's kind of a boring one, isn't it? Oh, okay. We put this one on here, the exact opposite of this one. You're right. Put this one right here. Actually, let's put this one up here. Put it up here. Actually, well, this is next to at least 2 reworks. That's a bit too free, isn't it? Who is Cyto 9? I do not understand 1999. What do you... Cyto 9 is a Warframe. Quincy is Quincy. He has Cyto 9's abilities. Or something with indifference is not on the board. I feel like that's like a guarantee, right? Like that's just like another free space if I do a lot of like different things. It could be the indifference. Putting vessels are under over the... No, we need to put vessels in here. Here we have 2 reworks on here. Let's actually, yeah, we can do a vessels space actually instead. New gameplay island. I don't know. That like feels more negative than it actually should be. Does anyone think indifference is a bad name for such an angry entity? Well, it's called the indifference because indifference is the opposite of love. Add a dedicated augment slot. I don't want to put that on here because I don't want that. Ambassador buffs, but for real. Yeah, the augment slot thing I think is a bad idea just in general. Dedicated PSF slot? That's what the Exla slot is. No, your augment idea? Unlikely. Anything related to significantly debatable gameplay changes isn't going to be discussed? Yeah, I don't think so either. New Solar Rail game mode that works like Last Epoch Monolith of Fates or Path of Exile 2 Atlas of Worlds infinite map exploration as we build our way to Tau. Wouldn't that not work? They'd have to build like an insane amount of new tile sets for that to make any sense. I mean, like, that'd be cool, but that seems so unlikely. Okay, we know... I'm pretty sure we saw that there's, like, a new, like, clothing collab, so we can't put that on here. So we have to put, like, non-clothing collab if we're going to put a collab on here. Magic the Gathering collab? God, I wish. Roguelike campaign mode would be insane. I don't. We have like Duviri and stuff for the roguelike stuff. Sentient adversaries. We just got the coda. I feel like it would be another year before we would see like sentient adversaries, like another adversary system. Like we are like fresh off the coda existing. How about a prediction for how many updates they will announce? I'm going to predict 3, maybe 4. That's just kind of the expected, though, isn't it? Crazy unrealistic ambitious curveball as Tau is a large open world instance more akin to a traditional MMO instance. Doesn't have many sentient weapons in a year or two with all the Tau content. It could make sense. Yeah, if we get like a bunch of Tau content that expands on the sentient stuff and the sentient weapons and all that stuff, like, and then they did like a sentient adversary system, that would make a reasonable amount of sense. I think they will remember that Squad Link exists. I think they want everyone else to forget. Please don't fucking put Warframe Rivens. Jesus. I can't think of anything that would disappoint me more. Like, for real. They're putting character rivets in the first Ascendant. Not surprised. Why would you want Warframe ribbons? That's such a bad idea. We have companion ribbons already? Companion weapon ribbons? Incarnates have been a better method of breathing new life into old weapons than ribbons. Definitely true. Warframe Incarnins as reworks? God, no. Just what we need for the Warframe to get an Incarnin and also augments that are the rework for them that they needed. Meanwhile, Mesa Incarnin will exist and just be better. These Warframe Incarnins will raise all ships, and it's like, you realize that means that the bad Warframes will still be bad. Well, yeah, but they'll have a Incarnin. Okay.
It's free real estate.
Zyme Disco.
Ours, thank you for the resub. Appreciate you. They have to be cooking a Mesa heirloom. We know that Valkyr heirloom is coming out, and that we've already seen Vauban heirloom, which we'll probably see a new progress of. I doubt that they do a third heirloom. Because, like, just think about how far off that'd be, right? Because, like, even, like we're going to get the Valkyr one, and then probably the Vauban one won't launch until next year. Or, like, the end of this year, right? What letter frames are we missing? I think the, like, finishing the alphabet thing is kind of boring. Like, we already know that Rebecca has stated specifically she's trying to finish the alphabet of Warframes. So, like, being like, new Warframe named Uriel is like, okay, I mean, I guess I can type that in, but, like, we know, like, that's just mostly me guessing what the name of the Warframe is that starts with U, not, like, anything else. But it's a bear frame called Ursus or something. Yeah, Ursine. What is Tau? Tau is where the sentients went before they came back and tried to kill everyone. They were supposed to terraform it and get it ready for the Orokin, but they were like, the Orokin will just ruin this place. We should fucking kill those guys. I'm paraphrasing, but also that is what happened. And were they wrong? No. No, the sentients were definitely, like... The sentients were, like, the Orokin or the baddies. And, like, honestly... Yeah... Do we even know why Albrecht wants to go to Tau? No. That's why we have Albrecht Aura Farms explains nothing on here, because that's very likely. Indifference was holding something worse back. You can't give something life and sentience, then try to enslave them. That's fucking evil. To be fair, the Orokin were enslaving things that just naturally had sentience. So, like... The Orokin were kind of bad. Add a square for aliens. Aliens is, you know what, that's pretty good. I feel like they won't do it. I feel like they won't aliens. But they could aliens. Nope. Where are we putting this? Like here? Probably not with evolved sentience. Let's put it up here. Put a bingo for the Tenno appearance rework DE asked us about. Third orb, fuck it. No, third, I don't even want it. I don't even want third orb. That's like a negative node on this. Like, the third orb would be such a, like, why? Like, third orb is just, like, a thing people say because they got used to saying it. It's, like, so, like, whatever. Throw Pazul back in there. Pazul is on here, right? Did we take him off? I thought we had somehow Pazul returned on here. Is that crazy? I did take it off here. We could have somehow Pazul returned in here.
At Brozime, a running joke between some of my
Already needs
friends
to be
and
in
I
the
was
middle.
that the Orokin and the Astrals, from Grand Blue, were in a most evil precursor contest. Until all the brawless shit happened, leading the Orokin to win.
The Astrals from Grand Blue were in a most evil precursor contest until all the polish shit happened, leading the Orokin to win. Yeah, that sounds correct, actually. Space should be Pazul remembered. I think, yes, I agree, but I think somehow Pazul returned is hilarious. But Pazul even being mentioned at all counts for that space. Ooh, Wally, no, Wally deal reveal, not gonna happen. No, they won't do that. They wouldn't put that on stage. The Wally deal reveal is going to be, like, actually in a quest at some point. I do not think they would ever put it on, like that is such a massive fuck-off spoiler. The Wally deal reveal is the final cutscene of a 5-hour quest. True. Yeah, that is a second dream level spoiler. I agree. We did get a hint at what the deal might be in the Kim convos already. I mean, sure. But, like, it's a thing where, like, everything down to, like, the exact wording of what Wally says in the deal is so important. Like, to even, like, show it, DE would have to think so hard about exactly what they need the characters to say. Think we'll ever get a new war-sized quest again? I do. I also would not be, like... I'd be very hyped, but I would not be insanely surprised if, like, this, like, what they're leading up to is that. Yeah, Warframe on Android, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a very exciting one. It's probably gonna happen. Like, we already know I, like, have been working on it, and, like, yeah, I mean, it's like a free space again. How'd we get aliens? I had to AFK. Aliens. I mean, what do we get? What is there to get? Aliens. If we're going to Tau, I think aliens is pretty reasonable. No, John, you are the alien. Guess how many updates we get before the end of the year? Like that's like a kind of predictive thing is like how many like individual updates will they specifically talk about as like the plan for the rest of the year? Like, I can guess that. I think one of these spaces being a collab, okay, a non-clothing collab, I think is a reasonable space here. Okay, maybe it should be an in-game collab. Yeah, the hot sauce. Yeah, no, not the hot sauce. An in-game collab. I forgot about the hot sauce. Yeah, in-game collab, I think, is a very reasonable space here. Definitely could happen. Also, it being in-game means that if it was in-game clothing, it wouldn't be disqualified. Would a voice actor cameo count? I don't know if you guys know this, but like voice actors are hired to play characters in video games, which means they're usually there. As in famous actor? I mean, like, I don't know. Is that out of the ordinary? Like, is there value in guessing a specific VA on this list? Like, I don't think so. Okay, Hideo Kojima on stage is a wild call. I hope you're right, because it'd be very funny. Love and Deep Space collab manifested by Reb. Jesus. What about new lich weapons? We just got new liches. I don't know. I don't think they would. I don't think they'd be on about that on stage. Yeah, I think. Where do you think we put this? Let's put it here. I think this is vague, but like makes it so that it's not hot sauce or clothing items in real life that count for this. What about new incarnins? Possible. Yeah, people have said more protos, but like Reb's been pretty specific about like taking a break from 1999 and stuff. New update will have a demo for us to play like with 1999. Possible. That reminds me, I gotta update my laptop for whenever we take that. Proto skins are money printers, though. Yeah, I really don't want proto skins to be there without the story attachment, though. Pete David reprises the role similar to his Admiral David Anderson in the Mass Effect series in order to guide us through the Tau system. That'd be pretty cool, but it's also too specific for this. New deluxes and prime reveals are basically free spaces. Yeah, like I could write like new deluxe skin on this, but it's like, yeah, you're gonna get that space, bro. You know what I mean? Like, like that'd be the same thing as like if we did like the Soul Frame dev stream, and I was just like, Steve is verbally shitposting about current events. It's like, yeah, that's in the middle, right in the center. Oh, Void Shell skins are on. Yeah, no, we're not getting more of those anytime soon. I think Parvos goes in one of these spaces. how deep should we go on a Parvos space here, though? Like, just like Parvos mentioned? Or should it be like Parvos appears? Because those are they're two different like tiers. Parvos involved. Okay. Oh, Parvos relevant. Okay, all right. Parvos relevant. That's pretty good. I think that's good verbiage. Yeah, Parvos relevant, I think, is good. We'll put that right here. I think that's good. That's good verbiage here. This is not how we spell relevant, is it? Looks wrong. Is it? Am I crazy? It looks wrong. Is this correct? But this is correct. Okay, it's just it just looks weird for some reason. You get that? I get that sometimes, where it's like this word, it feels like it's right, but it also doesn't look correct. We don't see Grenier or Corpus in Tau. Oh, do we want to add like a hopeful free space? We can add like a hopeful free space. Let's do a hopeful free space right here. Which is just PvP not mentioned. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, PvP not mentioned is good. Yeah, we had to get like a couple easy ones in here, right? Was it mentioned before? We got PvP VE in 1999. The Naru 2 revealed Rocket League collab. Oh, man. What about new vehicles? Do you think they would do a new vehicle? Like another thing to go in our loadout? Warframe model kits. Okay, number one, you're spitting. I feel like that's so specific, though. The Android release is a thing that like we know they've been working on for ages. Like they are gonna show it. Like, what does model kits mean? I assume like Gunpla style. Oh, we didn't add in the vessels. Should this just be like vessels get up? Real quick, what's your take on how we got all this Tau stuff if no one but the Sentients have been there, much less come back? You mean like the Tau shards? Those are like a gameplay thing. Vessel fight's a little much. I would take get up. New cosmetic type? Another new Lloyd. Lloyd 3? I feel like Vessels get up is like... Vessel fight could fit with the Roro fight the power, though. That's true. The Vessels get up and this are quite separate, though. Already sell Warframe figurines. There's like the statues they have, yeah, but like model kits is a little bit of a different thing. But again, that's too specific, I think. I won't put that on here. God, Steel Pat 2. Fucking guys. Guys. Are we saying this like do any of you actually think you want that? Like, do any of you actually think that you want that? I'm 1000% memeing. Okay. What are vessels? Vessels are like the big humanoid things that we used to go to the past in the Albert Labs. Attenuation squared. Well, like, yeah, like what is okay, let's theorize a titanium path, right? Okay, so steel path was levels plus 100. Titanium path is now levels plus 1000. Wow. And the weapons that are like the good ones in the game have long since stopped giving a fuck what level the enemy is. Right? Like, the Furious is doing damage caps per second as damage output. Like, this ceases to matter. So, like, what are they going to do? All the enemies are attenuated. Wow. So fun. Very enjoyable for friend and foe. Like... like, just putting more numbers on it is not, like, changing almost anything once you go up from where Steel Path already is. Like, we're already looking at, like, ETA, which is, like, a regular path mode, but it's level, like, 500 or 600 most of the time. And it's like, yeah, whatever. All mission types are now timers due to attenuation, yeah. It's a little vague, but something completely unexpected, like legit something huge. That, you know what, that's fair. Levels only matter at the lower end. Yeah, like once you reach a certain level, it's like the levels no longer matter. Like, it's nothing. Involuntary holy shit as a square. Yeah, okay, you know what? That's pretty good. That's actually very solid. That might be better than a vessels node. I'm thinking about this as like this could be where the vessels go, but involuntary holy shit is... Wait a minute, but that goes with this one, though. This one will proc that no matter what. Like, anything that is fitting the top left condition will proc involuntary holy shit. That's true. What does Roro fight the power? If you don't know what this means, it means you were supposed to watch Gurren Lagann before Tennocon. This means that you were supposed to watch the full 24 episode run of Gurren Lagann before Tennocon. Very important. Where can I watch? I believe it's on Netflix. It's definitely on Crunchy, I think. Is it on Netflix right now? Okay, yeah, there you go. Gonna rewatch the movies on my flight to Canada. Hell yeah. Bro, it's on Slurm. It's free with ads on Poob. I mean to say there are those who don't know the drill that will pierce the heavens. That's correct. What if I don't watch anime? Then you can live your life in darkness. You will not know, which means you will not have the propensity to be the most hyped ever. I think they're going to bring back Neil Newbon to voice someone. I just think it's not, like... The voice actor stuff is, like, I appreciate voice actors as much as the next guy. But, like, specifically calling out a certain voice actor to be a character is, like, so... Bleh. Right? Tag forgets his wife back. Warframe TV show or movie announcement. Something eternalism. I miss my wife, Drifter. I miss her a lot. You don't think? Well, no. What is the point of time travel if
Welcome
we
to the
can't
club,
save
buddy.
his wife? Extended media announcement for broadness. Yeah. I just think that that's like definitely gonna happen. You know what I mean? A young Lotus? What does that even mean? She's a sentient. A kid sentient, maybe? I don't think... Do we think that the sentients grow up? Something has to come before. I mean... The sentients not grow up, they're biocomputer, essentially, right? They're not bio. Once again, everyone, sentients are not biological. For anyone that missed that, the sentients are not biological. They definitely age. Like, they definitely... Like, the starting form of a sentient, we don't know. Right? But, like, it would be weird for them to, like... So, whenever they were built initially, they'd be built in, like, a fully complete, like, working state, right? Like, they wouldn't have to, like, mature into themselves. Because that's not, like, how robot work. So I think the thing is that they would be created, and then they can, like, grow from there. Like, Hun Hao is older, and, like, therefore, like, the experience is what ages him, right? Like, they build on a base instead of, like, growing from baby. Is what, like, I would think.
Hey, that's pretty good.
More Stalker kind of covers any of, like, the Stalker stuff. No physical age, only psychological age. Yeah. More likely is some kind of drifter / operator swap mechanic, like an instant warp mirror defense thing. I could see it. An innuendo joke is made on stage. Sentients are replicants without looking the same as humans. Well, like, we don't know, but, like, I think it would be silly to assume that, like, a sentient has a baby form. Like a true, like, useless child format seems unlikely for, like, them just in general. Unexpected side character help. What do they evolved reproduction there? Now, that kind of goes under this, though. The more Stalker stuff, we've already got that covered with this. We now know Warframe babies are possible. Attracts to sentience with life will find a way. Okay, the Warframe baby thing is under incredibly particular circumstances, and also, as a reminder, Warframes are biological. Arc melee relevant? You want like a negative free space on this one, huh? You want one that's just not gonna happen. Those does say sentience become barren after traversing the void. That's correct. But like, once again, a sentience ability to like create more sentience does not necessarily mean that the way sentients have children is to make a baby. That doesn't work the same. Like, we're talking about like the same difference between like, you know, like humans have a baby, right? Chickens have eggs, and these aren't the same. Same thing with like sentience would be a totally different thing, very likely. New Void Rig might be hype. Would it be, though? New Prime reveal? That's another free space. Like, we're definitely seeing that no matter what. It's happened on every single Tennocon, I think, has showed the new Prime. Like, all of them. And, like, I mean, this is the 10th one. So, like, it's kind of like not guessing at some point. Do we know what it will be? I mean, we think that it's going to be Geyer, right? I thought that's what we said. Railjack content? I've got that over here. Railjack exploration game mode. Keanu Reeves, for some reason. Jesus. Yeah, Geyer or Caliban? Likely it's Geyer. Hub world expansion. K-Drive upgrade to surf around the universe? Cowabunga, dude? Caliban is fine now, chat. His prime would not be trolling. I mean, it wouldn't be trolling because, like, it's time and, you know, everybody's rent comes due eventually, but, like, I don't know that it would be particularly exciting. Is Baller Deluxe concept art from Liger too much of a free space? Yeah, that one's very free. If Warframe is people, does that mean Soylent Green is 10 out? Yes, correct. Kelvin just needs some AI tweaks. It certainly would help. Yeah, if you just made his guys, like, scale reasonably at all. Jack survivors from Mag Prime's lore. I doubt it. Like, oh man. It could, maybe. That kind of like goes into this. I think if anything survived that, like the Mag Prime entry and what that leads to, it's kind of these two things together, which is new named Tenno and then the Prime Warframe graveyard, which is based on, like, those guesses are based on this trailer we got. Where, like, this is, like, clearly a dead Mag Prime. This looks like back here a dead Ember Prime. And I think that's going to be, like, expanded even further into a Prime Warframe graveyard. But a new named Tenno that, like, survived going there and is still there would probably be fucking sick. New base of operations. I feel like that's something that we wouldn't see at Tennocon, but it's possible. I think this is foreshadowing more content that locks you out of most of your loadout. Well, we have random loadouts again down here. This is like a negative one that we put on here. Problem is that operators do age, so they'd be over 1,000 years old. Oh, that's my secret, Captain. The operator can't die. Like, the operators are functionally immortal. The operators only age because they think they should. Is this The Sims music? What is this? This is The Sims Neighborhood 5. Yes, correct. Operators are a fixed point in time, right? No, they're like basically like void creatures. He specifically stated he had trouble since he wasn't in the second dream. Well, his trouble was related to like defending everything from the man on the wall alone, though. Like, he literally, like, fused with his Warframe just to keep Wally at bay. The sacrifice style update is so likely, to be honest. Catch-up episode? Yeah, that's valid. I definitely don't disagree there. New player improvements? Possible? They've done so many that it is actually possible that it doesn't happen. Like, Soulframe collab. We already have in-game collab on here, which I think is fine. It's also worth noting that, like, in-game collab, if they, like, put a glyph in that, like, sort of alludes to Soulframe, that doesn't fucking count. It's got to be, like, an actual collab of some fucking description. Yeah, that glyph does exist, yes, but it's like that's not really a collab. You know what I mean? Like that would be like saying that DE collabed with me because my glyph is in the game, and it's like that's no. Steel Path for Railjack. Are we just naming things that nobody wants now? VTuber style NPC. We call those cephalons. A new Hex member? It's that time. We just got 4 new Hex members. That just happened. Cephalons are VTubers is how I'm explaining that shit to my friends. That's maybe... okay. Honestly, that's more understanding than people will like usually have about what a cephalon is, so they're alright. Want a Hex member for every Warframe and have them all dateable at the same time in a massive polycule. The game that you would like to play is called Date Everything, I believe. Also, yeah, decoration rework would be weird. Like, Warframe has one of the best decoration systems in any game ever. In fact, I can't think of a game that has a better decoration system. I think it's more intuitive than the fucking Sims. If it's clunky as shit, is it? Halo Forge was pretty good. That's not a decoration thing, though. Clipping isn't intuitive. Sure. I mean, clipping's not intuitive because, like, it's not, like, a totally intended feature. If you're telling me that, like, Man, I wish that you could just turn off clipping of all items in Warframe and decorate how you want. Yes, that works for those of us that can use more than 1% of our brain power. But for like most people who would interact with the decorating system, that would just mean they're putting decorations through walls and then can't get them back, and they're messaging support and they're like, "What is this?" Like, like the barrier to entry on it is what allows it to literally still exist because regular people don't have a bunch of problems. Like, it makes it harder to do the decorating, but you get to do it at all. Look what they have for Signas on other accessories. Oh, me and you both. That would be a good one. So plays a fair number of survival and base building games. Warframe's ecosystem blows a lot of others out of the water. That's fair. And it's also that Warframe's is like specifically like a decoration system, right? Like, I'm not expecting it to be satisfactory. That's the whole point of that game. Of course their systems are generally going to be better, right? What about Orden Karis mentioned as the last space? I gotta keep it so for real. Like, this is one of those things which is like, well, of course normal players know about X. And it's like, normal players don't know about magnetic damage, bro. Like, even the devs probably forgot about Orden Karis. Like, on a regular basis. Like, do I think that the Orden Karis thing, if they ever, like, mentioned it again or did something more with it, would be very cool? Yes. Will that resonate with, like, almost anyone? Absolutely the fuck not. I mentioned it in the Jade event, though? Yeah. Parvos mentions it in a single voice line in the Jade event, and that is for all of us that know to go, oh, he said the fucking, like, we're Leonardo DiCaprio and going fucking... Like, that's us doing that whenever he says the thing. But that is exactly the level of known that the Orden Karis stuff is. Like... Like, it is a, like, here's a niche call out for our really experienced players to go like, oh, and then nothing else. Does that mean that Orden Karis is a glove shitter? Kinda. Yeah, new base of operations. I don't know if we would see a new base of operations in like what's like gonna be like a teaser for the new stuff, right? Like, it's possible. But also, like, wouldn't they want that to be a surprise for us, probably? Like, when everything's actually released? Because, like, this is like a build hype type thing, right? Like, that's like what this is. Is like, this is like where Warframe's going grand scale. And grand scale, like, doesn't include, like, putting knickknacks in your new sentient apartment, right? Warframe 2? Oh, please no. Modding rework? We have at least 2 reworks on here already. I don't want to put too many, like, rework things on here, just in general. That's kind of why we did this. Modding rework would be such a monumental task. That's true. Better modding guide. I think that if I was going to say something about like a better modding guide, it would be that this would be like new player experience better. Which, like, that's like reasonable. Because like I think there's like a chance that it happens and a chance that it doesn't for that. Because we just got so much good new player stuff. And even more is like not out of the question. But not seeing it is also pretty reasonable. So like that's kind of a good one, actually. Earlier and easier to access lore. We kind of are like, we already got that. If there isn't a tutorial that forces you to make a first weapon build is actually insane. I think that changed, actually. With, like, the new player experience stuff that they just changed. I think that's the one that we want to go with, is new player experience improvements. Yeah, this has like a pretty good mix of like likely, unlikely stuff, I think. So we have Roro fight the power, which, if you don't know, that's do your homework. Go watch Gurren Lagann. Apparently, it's on Netflix. Go do that. If you don't know what this means, your assignment is before Tennocon. You need to watch all 24 episodes of Gurren Lagann. New player experience improvement, which we just had a good round of them, so it's kind of iffy if we get more, but would be good. I'd love to check this one off. At least 2 reworks, which feels like kind of an easy one, because I think that at least 1 rework being announced is fairly guaranteed. 2 reworks is like doable, but not definitely 100% happening, right? And then the 2 less likely ones on this row, I would say, is Aliens and Inside the Sun. Sarah returned home. I have a jelly donut and water. Okay. Anyway, though. But yeah, the least likely of the less likely ones. Aliens and Inside the Sun. So Inside the Sun is based on them like continually showing the giant hole that's been left in the sun since the new war. Them showing that is like, and my guess is that we're going inside the sun to some degree. Aliens kind of needs how to be real, but not entirely. Are they bubbling for a mecha break? What's happening? Okay, I'll read this after we go. This is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot there. We'll read that after this. Okay. Raids. It's on here every year. This is probably a dead space. But we hope every year that it's not. Yeah, we hope every year that Raids is not a dead space. Rebecca said no raids recently. Yeah. We put it on there every year. Gee, I wonder why you put raids in one of the weakest spots on the board. Yeah, I wonder why. For what reason would you do that, bros? You're allowed a copium space? Yeah. If we get TTGL raids, more Stalker, new faction, I can accept getting random loadouts for bingo. Yeah, if this bingo happens, like, we have random loadouts again on here, and I'll still be so fucking happy. Like, if we get left line, crazy work. Insane Tennocon. Like, actually, the compatibility of more Stalker and Roro Fight the Power is also, like, very fucking low. So, like, would be an insane Tennocon. Random Lotus is more like an Echoes Updated Edition. Maybe. What does Random Lotus specifically mean? ETA, EDA, Duviri. Whenever your loadout is random. What if random loadouts and raids are the same new thing? Well... But yeah, up here though, I think that like there's these new player experience and at least 2 reworks feels like pretty safe. Row 2, we got the raids. Tau time, I think that Tau happening in some way, I think we're on one. Seems like a pretty easy space, right? Should be a pretty easy space. Like, the Brozime is like a completely right section is this cross right here, top left to bottom right. That's the I was fucking right line. If we get that bingo, then, like, I just get to be like, I fucking told you all. Like, that's what I get to do. The likelihood that we get this cross is probably not very good. The Yanta rambling payoff. For those that don't know this one, Yanta constantly talks about, like, how if she could jump the Zarmon again to get to Tau, she could totally do that shit. It would totally work out. Absolutely, she could make this happen. So, like, her getting the payoff to all of what she talks about constantly all the time is, like, what this would be. And if we're going to Tau, that's pretty likely to come along with it. But it's not a guarantee. Roro Fight the Power Explain, please. Go watch Gurren Lagann. Once again, go watch Gurren Lagann if you don't know what this means. Your assignment pre-Tennocon is to watch Gurren Lagann. Listen, I'll let her hit if she jumps us to Tau. That's your requirement? Time travel. So this one is pretty broad. I do think that there's some possibility that this is a bait and switch, and that this update is actually like a precursor to doing Tau stuff. And if it's going to be a precursor to doing Tau stuff, I think that the precursor that it will be is basically having an update that is the old war as an update, and giving us like all of the details we might need from the old war that we don't currently have. So that would be like this trailer that is like seeming to reference the aftermath of like the entry of the Mag Prime Codex entry and stuff like that. This would basically be like, oh, we're just having a big like Prime Warframe flashback episode of like what the fuck happened to all of these like different, like all these things in the old war. What occurred? What is the Prime Warframe graveyard? We'll get there. We're going in order. New Kim style system. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is more of a I want this thing. I think the Kim system is really, really great. I think they did a phenomenal job for it, and I'm always going to want more stuff like this. Having one that is like not in 1999 and is in the future somewhere would be really cool. I want this. Like, it's a great way to do a lot of exposition and do a lot more explaining than we normally get. And I think that's like, I don't know. I feel like it's a very well received system just in general, and I like it a whole lot. Game system is a chill and casual way to lore it up organically instead of just exposition 40-minute cutscene. Yeah, for Kaya doing time travel would be nice. Yeah, I didn't want to put the Kaya thing on here because I didn't want to spoil people on like her stuff, but you know. More Stalker. This is like also pretty self-explanatory. Just building on more of the Jade quest and like what is going on with Stalker and like everything to do with that quest. Just a further elaboration on that. I don't actually think that this is a particularly likely square to hit. I think that they're not going to be focused on this and that this is going to remain more of a side story, at least for a while. I do think we will get an update that does focus on it more, but I don't know if that's going to be what they talk about at this Tennocon. It might be like a next Tennocon thing, or maybe like a beginning of the year update or something next year, possibly. And then in-game collab, this is just specifically exempting the hot sauces or any real-life clothing and any stuff like this. This also needs to be something that is like deeper than like a glyph that is a reference. Because like, of course, we know we're getting the Soul Frame glyph that it like, you know, references Avocot and stuff like that. This would be like a real-ass in-game collab happening, which could be any number of things. Oh, you know. Big open. This feels like a big Dead Space. Yeah, they've never done it before. I do think that it is a very possible Dead Space as well. But yeah, the middle row has like a you know, it's got the free space and kind of another free space, I hope. But then we have new named Tenno. So this one is kind of alongside this when we'll get to that. So new named Tenno, we'll just explain like the entry for Mag Prime's codex goes through like another operator, another Warframe being sent to Tau, and like a bunch of them were sent there like whenever it was open, basically. I think that if we go to Tau, it would be really, really good for story building purposes if there's a Tenno still alive. And also a thing that I've been wanting in Warframe in general for a long time is a non-player character Tenno. Because I think that there's a lot of things that you can add in to just like the story in general. Alive is pretty vague. I mean, I get what as alive as a Tenno is, right? But yeah, having like some kind of like counter point to us, I think would be very good. Wouldn't that hard confirm a Tenno is immortal and doesn't age without the pods? Well, so the thing about the way like the Tenno are is I think the Tenno only age because they believe they do. Because they're like void constructs, essentially. Like they're not like a human anymore, right? They just like look like that because that's how they think they look. And we're basically energy beings at this point. Yeah. The work power of imagination, kinda. I think we'll get more proto frames. I got a buddy who thinks Nessie will be Zaku. Will broken apart by the indifference thing. I think that proto frames, like, it's possible we get some concept art, but I don't think it's gonna be like it's not on here because like they've said pretty explicitly they're kind of taking a break from the 1999 stuff. Well, we finally got an operator face rework with Tau. Yeah, well, we know that they've talked about wanting to upgrade the operators visually, and that's why it's not on here, is because they've specifically mentioned it. Real observer shapes its observation because it believes the observation has to be within expectation type beat. Exactly. And then the other free space for the middle here is PvP not mentioned. We're hoping to get this one. We're hoping and praying that PvP is not mentioned. We want it really bad. Should be an easy one. Just like, just a real simple one. Real simple one, PvP not mentioned. And rework did they want to do to operator faces? Mostly just like an upgrade to make them look better. There's an operator voice lines. Never again shall we hear we fought with honor. And then another so this one is a positive negative, where we don't see a negative. This one is the actual negative note of the bunch, which is it's random loadouts again, baby. If you liked your loadout not being the thing that you wanted it to be, we're back with more random loadouts. I think that the random loadout stuff is fine. I don't mind ETA and EDA and Duviri, but there is a point where it is at saturation, and we are there. With having just gone back to Duviri again, we are at saturation with random loadouts. Any more within the next, honestly, full year and a half, I think is way too much. I'm saturated with this many weeklies too. Yeah. But yeah, so this one is hopefully we don't get this one, but if we got this along with everything here, or everything here, then it's probably peak anyway, and it is what it is. What do you think a bingo is with this board? We'll get to what I think are the likely lines. Another easy one though is Digital Extremes is a music company that also makes a game. This is just the music is really good. That's all that this is. This is just playing into the meme, which is the music is really good. And based on this trailer, I think that we're already pretty much guaranteed for this node. It's kind of another free space. And then somehow Pazul returned. This is mostly just Pazul mentioned. DE remembers that Pazul exists. Pazul should be relevant to Tau. I feel like this space should likely not be too terribly hard. And then Railjack Exploration game mode. So this one, I vagified this, but the thing that I want this to be is that the way that we're getting to Tau is by basically retrofitting the Railjack as an exploration vessel. And what that would entail basically is turning the railjack into something that is akin to like the Normandy, where you drop out the bottom of the railjack and like the whole like crafting area down there becomes like a crew space where you'd like, you know, you build like crew members that are based on the story, where you'd have like Kaya, maybe Alid, you know, maybe like Maru or whoever else would be parts of like a crew that would then be going to Tau. You'd get a bunch of like story development with those characters that would also kind of fit in with like the Kim style system. And then like the way we'd be exploring Tau would be like a kind of different game mode revolving around that. Well, now it's not going to happen. Hey, I've been talking about this. That's what I would want. But I think the railjack being used as like an exploration of Tau just in general is not totally unlikely, even if it's not exactly what I just said. That should actually be done by the Orbiter. No. Maybe a combination. One of Parvos' sisters who's there on behalf of Parvos and his interests. Yeah, that'll also be like a really good crew member for sure. And that's also like Parvos relevant. This has been kept vague, like, because like Parvos stuff is like kind of in flux. Like Parvos knows Void Tongue and there's like some weirdness there. But just like basically like Parvos has appeared a few different times. But like getting like kind of payoff for the Parvos stuff is kind of what this refers to. I think that this line is not entirely unlikely. Like, hopefully the least likely thing on this row is actually random loadouts again. Because otherwise, it feels like this row should be pretty doable. And then the bottom one, bottom left is kind of a free space once again, which is new faction. The likelihood that we see a new faction feels really, really high. It also does kind of like go with some of the other stuff that's down here. The Lotus setup payoff. This one is specifically, for any of you that did not remember this, in the labs, before we went to 1999, the Lotus is just down there on like the edge of like the cliff overlooking like the like murmurified area down there. And she is just saying the most like foreshadowy shit imaginable, where she's like, I was the mother, I will become the witch. And like just saying just crazy shit into the void down there. And just any payoff for any of the stuff that she's talking about down there is like what this note is for. I really do hope that we hit this one, because otherwise she is just going to be waxing poetic forever down there. And just like, yeah, Lotus is on her like vampire flow shit exactly, or Dracula flow. She was on space edibles, no judging. Yeah, for real. Evolved sentience. This is another thing that I've talked about for like a while, and I've kept this one vague as well so that it fits a couple of different possible like takes on this. So, and this also kind of relates to what she says, where like Lotus is like, no one's heard from Tau in like, you know, centuries or whatever. Sentience being like a machine race means that they could evolve at like an insane pace as compared to like biological races that have like lifespans and stuff. And I think that this could be that sentience that are in Tau now look nothing like what the sentience that we know of like are. Like they could have advanced to such an insane degree as to be totally unrecognizable from like the Lotus and Hun Hao and Era and all of that stuff. So I think that's like what we could see with the sentience. I think it'd be very interesting if it's that. This also, I didn't want to put this on here, but it does kind of tie into this one. I think that like it could be revealed, because like this has never been stated why, like beyond that the sentience didn't want the Orokin to ruin Tau like they ruined the Origin system. It's never really been stated like any further reasoning why. I do think that evolved sentience and aliens can work together, where like the sentience showed up there, started terraforming things, and then like the aliens were there and were like just better than the Orokin and like not ruining everything, and that being part of their decision. So you have like hyper evolved sentience and also like alien races in this system that would like tie in with like a railjack exploring thing. Like I think it'd be a pretty interesting way to do it. But those things do kind of tie together a little bit. And then these last two, we have the Albrecht Aura Farms and Explains Nothing. I have to put the and in here, but whatever. I'll make a better version of this that has like some stroke effects on the text as well. This is basically just Albrecht shows up again and just like is cool and explains goddamn nothing. Albrecht has shown up, I believe, 3 times now and just explained absolutely nothing. He's just been like cool guy stands and not a damn thing has been explained by him, not even once. The indifference is interrogating him tied to a chair, and all it manages to get out of him is his sexuality. It is, like, insane how little Albrecht says of any substance at any given point. He barely explains the things he is trying to explain to us in the, like, actual quest in the labs, whenever he has, like, the recorded messages for us. So, like, this one is just, like, Albrecht continues to be Albrecht, but, like, I hope this one does not get filled in, honestly. But again, I've put it in a position where, like, if we get all of this, like this line, or we get all of this bottom line, then that's probably still great. And then this last one is Prime Warframe Graveyard. This one is built specifically off of this trailer, where, of course, we have, like, the dead mag here. This back here looks like a dead ember to me. So I think that this area is, like, going to be, like, a wider, like, we arrive in Tau, or it's, like, a flashback, which would, like, be, like, the time travel thing to, like, the old war and them arriving in Tau. And then that being, like, a thing we interact with is just tons and tons of dead primes. But yeah. And that's, like, I think it's a pretty good bingo card. I think likelihood here, I don't know. It's tough. I think there's some, like, this is, like, a reasonably, if we hit, this is the thing here is, like, and this is the way I try and always do these, is, like, if we hit a bingo, it will be hype, I think, is, like, the main thing here, right? Like, I don't think there's any bingos here where, like, Tennocon was not amazing. And if we hit multiple bingos, we start going into magical Christmas land. You know what I mean? Originally, were there one of each prime, or were they also replicated? They're non-specific about that in the lore. Albrecht's aura farming caught me. What happens if you get bingos? Not a damn thing, except for we win as players. Straight middle is meh. Straight middle is meh. That's, I mean, I'd still be pretty hyped. If we only got the middle, new named Tenno is on here. New named Tenno and, like, stuff like expanding on the Stalker thing could be, like, really big. This one, like, is like a degree dependence. The in-game collab is obviously depending on what property, right? Imagine Albrecht gets off-screened. Oh, man. Yeah, honestly, like, the full cross here are probably, like, the worst overall. Maybe, no, because the evolved sentience thing would probably be crazy. Yeah, I think it's pretty tough to have, like, a bad bingo here. Like, any given bingo, I think, is super hype. Normally they wouldn't do a collab unless it was going to be something amazing. Yeah, I think that's true. I like the best of this kind of thing, but I spliced the frames from that teaser together to get a somewhat better idea of the full shape. No, yeah, that definitely looks like an ember. What collab would you want to see? The one that we talked about is the, like, FF14 collab, where we get a bunch of outfits for the Operator and the Drifter that are, like, Final Fantasy themed. And that would be pretty sick. We'll be able to download the Finalized bingo board ourselves. Yeah, I'm gonna... So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, and then I'll make a slightly, like, nicer version of it in Affinity later. I'll put, like, some stroke effects on the text and stuff to make it a little more easily readable. And then I'll put that in the Discord. But yeah, I'm just going to save this for now. Row 4 would be pretty if it weren't for the Railjack exploration mode. I don't know. The Parvo stuff I think is interesting. Like, obviously, random loadouts would be in here. But yeah, the Railjack exploration thing is, like, kind of like there's no matter where you bingo, I think there's something that's pretty pog here. Soulframe collab would be a cop-out. I don't know that it'd be a cop-out. It depends on how involved it is, right? So ends today's video. Thanks so much to all of the patrons for supporting not only this channel, but also the new Soulframe Scholar channel. It is much appreciated as that channel gets started. And thanks very much to our $10 patrons, Atheon, Ith, Albert Drake, Alex Parnham, Arbiter Daydream, Babyhoot, Arcus, Nuven, Automatic, Brutus Salazar, Canalathra, Bob World, Colleen Smith, Dylan Dworsky, Athrain, James Hawthorne, GC4 Science, Josh, Lord Ian, Luzanth, Mike Easman, Mikkel, Mitchta, Nerve, Ruby, S267, Sanu, Cezon, Sharp247, The Coupon of Death, Waifu Wars, Waldetto1, Seraphir, and Zero Weebs Plan, and of course all of the $5 and $2 patrons as well. Your support is very much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.